What's going on, everybody? Marcus back again here with another video, and today we're going to be talking about what exactly does Blizzard learn from each expansion. And this actually came from a thread on MMO Champion that's starting to gain some steam that was posted a few days ago. And I saw a post from someone that really made a lot of sense, but they didn't start actually at Burning Crusade. So I'm actually going to go to my list here. And what we mean by, what exactly does Blizzard learn from each expansion? And it basically means, what did they learn themselves and how did they apply it to the next expansion? So we'll start off with, what did they learn after the Burning Crusade? After the Burning Crusade, they learned that they needed to put the villain in the storyline. They actually mentioned this in BlizzCon 09. I was actually in attendance for that BlizzCon. And they talked about how nobody knew who Illidan was, and they didn't really put Illidan in your path in the storyline. Whereas in Wrath of the Lich King, they put Arthas the second you stepped onto Howling Fjord. I think a few quests in, Lich King staring at you right in the face. The second big lesson that they learned in TBC was make raiding more accessible to people. They spent a lot of time on raiding content, and as it turns out, the raiding content in TBC was just really fucking hard for the most part. It was gated, things of that nature. Actually, yeah, let me put it in here, attunements. Gone. So they learned to make 10-man raids. So to get more people in, because Karazhan was such a success, they learned that they needed to add a lower barrier of entry for noobs, catch up gear every tier, and attunements gone. No more attunements. Stop making it hard for people to just hop into the raid. So now we move on to Wrath of the Lich King. A lesson that they learned and they applied into Cataclysm, which is not a good idea, is use lockouts to prevent raider burnout. This was not a good idea. Instead of being able to, every single week in Trial of the Grand Crusader and Wrath of the Lich King, you can go 4 different lockouts. 10 normal, 10 heroic, 25 normal, 25 heroic. You could raid it 4 times and get gear on 1 tune. They said, oh, you guys are getting burnt out, so we're going to stop that. Bad idea, Blizzard. Bad idea. Then they decided to make 10 and 25 mans equal. Make it drop the same gear. Even bigger idea. They casualized hardcore raiding on the 10-man side. They made it uber difficult to try and normalize the cutting edge content. To this day, we see, since Warlords, people still pissed off about not having their 10-man raids. This was one of the biggest mistakes they ever made, was making the 10 and 25 mans equal, because we're still feeling the effects. Another lesson they learned from Wrath was, make content harder. Ghostcrawler said it himself. We thought people would rise to the occasion and do harder content. They were wrong. They were absolutely wrong. They were wrong. So wrong.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
They were definitely wrong. So those are some of the things they learned from Wrath. Now, I actually want to go to his post, this guy's post. I want to give this guy some props, because he actually makes some great points here. So the first point that he makes is, Cataclysm, challenging auto-queuing pub content doesn't work. That's very, very, very true. The heroics and even the normals in Cataclysm were too hard. I remember spending an hour and 30 minutes in normal stone core the first week of Cataclysm. That is unacceptable. It really is. Hour and a half for a normal dungeon. I didn't even get any gear. I had to CC every pack. Every pack took like 2 minutes just to clear 1 pack. 2 minutes is a long time if you think about it for 1 trash pack. Don't make any more water zones. He likes it. I don't. I thought that water zone was horrible. I've never quested there again. I never will quest there again. Keep the zones connected. Yeah, I'd say so. Now we get to Miss Pandaria. Failed experiment scenarios. They weren't so bad. Don't gate player power with long daily factions. Okay, so this is another question of quote unquote mandatory content. This is the first time I've ever been told things were mandatory, that you had to do this. And what it all boils down to is they made gear accessible to people who didn't want to raid, and then raiders thought they had to get that gear because you have to maximize your gear opportunities every single week, or you're doing it wrong, right? But we know that's not true. Challenge modes. Yeah, I mean, challenge modes were great. They're a precursor to Mythic Plus. Some lessons they learned from WoD. These are some good points. Don't force players to go out in the world. Don't keep them in garrisons. Force players to go out in the world. Don't keep them in garrisons. Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't take away flying. Players are willing to quit over it. Yes. Yes. Players love flying. It's freedom. They have cool mounts. They want to be able to soar through the air. Yes. Don't try to release yearly expansions. Of course. Don't call content patches with zero content major point release content patches. Okay, so he's just picking on the whole, 6.1 selfie camp. But I want to go back to WoD, and I want to talk about some lessons they learned from WoD. And some of the lessons that they actually learned from WoD is any content is good if it is rewarding. That's a lesson they learned from WoD. And the reason why they learned that lesson is they took away all the content that made Mists of Pandaria good or at least playable, and they took it away in WoD, And that's another lesson that they learned from MoP, which was a bad lesson. They learned that content that is boring or feels mandatory must be arbitrarily removed. Wrong. Absolutely, positively, 100% wrong. This is a bad lesson that they learned from MoP. And honestly, here's the thing. It's our fault. What we got in Warlords was our fault. So now we get to Legion. The lessons that they learned from Legion is that Mythic Plus was great. Absolutely. They learned that was good. World quests are good. Absolutely. I had no problem with the Legion World Quests. They didn't really bother me all that much because there were some good rewards tied to it, and you can pick and choose which ones you wanted to do for the most part, right? Like if you had to do your emissary in Stormheim, there was 8 quests open there. You didn't have to do the 4 that you didn't like. You picked the 4 that you liked. We took table missions too far. Yeah, I mean, table missions just need to go. I know it's a product of cell phone games, but they need to go. Don't reward substantial gold in table missions. RNG for major borrowed power is a problem. Yeah. Max level world content is good. Suramar. Okay, I'm going to sit here and say that the concept of Suramar was good, but the fact that you always had to be hidden pissed me off. I was tired of being stealthed. Okay, if I wanted to play fucking stealth game, I'd play fucking stealth game. Things I learned from BFA, Island Expeditions and Warfronts. Here's the thing about Island Expeditions and Warfronts. They could have been good had they been a little bit more challenging and been more of a rewarding, right? Like I would do Warfronts all the time if it was all about, I mean, I did do them when they gave out good gear, and just Island Expeditions just were boring. Allied races are good. Players love them. Immediately dropped. Okay, and another thing that I hope they learn from Allied races is don't make them fucking gated over content. Just give it to us. Just let us play. Let us do some stupid little 30, like the artifact weapon. 30-minute quest line. Give us our fucking Allied races. Fuck the reputation. Fuck all that shit. And things they learned from Shadowlands. Torghast, failed experiments, Torghast Maw. I'm going to disagree here. Torghast as a concept is a good thing. They just made it a chore. They didn't know how to reward it. They didn't want to reward it with gear, but they certainly made it rewarded with your legendaries. Next up, players really don't like being able to mount at all. Yeah, I hate not being mounted. Come on. Don't hard cap AoE to strict numbers. Yeah, just let us burn it. Let us burn it. Let us have the freedom to use our abilities. Crafted legendaries, non-RNG bar power are a success. Yes, if and only if the way you collect the items to craft your legendaries doesn't feel like a chore. Even when limited cosmetics, only progression needs to be reasonably paced. Anima rewards in 9.0. Yeah, I'd say so. So these are all great points. And I want to add some points here. So let's go to Legion. What are some lessons they learned from Legion? They learned that artifact weapons should go away. Why? Why did you learn that lesson? Some lessons from Shadowlands I think that they're learning is Yeah, I think that they're learning a lot of things about not only what content players want to do, but how they want to do it and what they want to get out of it. I think World of Warcraft needs to remove a lot of guardrails. A lot of people argued that the guardrails in Classic and maybe even into TBC were good for the game, and not letting certain people into raids was a good to keep the sanctity of raiding alive. And I think that era is dead. I think some things that they really need to learn from Shadowlands is make WoW free. And by free, I mean, let us hop into whatever content we want. I was playing Star Wars Battlefront 2 the other day, and I basically got to pick where I wanted to go and play. I didn't get to play all the characters I really wanted to play because I had to earn a little bit of the currency in order to play Darth Vader or whatever, but it didn't take long for me to get my hands on Darth Vader. It only took me a week to get my hands on Darth Vader. I felt great. I felt great playing that game. They need to start making WoW more free. They need to make raids, make more raids, smaller bosses. We are living in 2021, ladies and gentlemen. We're living in 2021. People don't have the time to grind and do 3-hour nights on a 14 boss raid. Give us some 5 to 8 boss raids, 3 of them, and gate them by a few weeks with the same amount of gear, just different looks, or maybe some cool weapons. Maybe one raid is all about weapons. One raid has some cool trinkets. The other raid has some tier pieces. Let us do all of them. Go, okay, Tuesday, guys, we're going to clear this one. And you clear it on Tuesday. Okay, Wednesday, we're going to clear this one. Thursday, we're going to clear this one. Stuff like that. Make them quick. No trash. Let us get into the content that's actually good and stop making us do crap we don't want to do. Or make the crap we want to do better. So anyways, I thought that was a great, post, a great post from this guy, and a great thread, and it's still continuing. It's about 9 pages deep after a few days, which is good. So let me know what you guys think. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Any expansion lessons you guys think I missed, or maybe some things I was off the mark in. So we'll catch you guys later.